I'm nervous, but here we go.
Alright.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
By the way, I have no clue what happens after this because I never finished the trial.
Alrighty. Well, you'll see then. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's... Hi, Lana! Fuck! Come now, Uchi. This is the poorest excuse for the trial I've ever seen.
Chief Garrett, what the fuck?
What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make any statements of any sort.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier.
Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your neck.
Huh, so what? Think I'm worried? Never mind, the fat guy shot lightning out of my hair. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements.
What do you mean?
The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence.
Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't. But someone does.
Uh-oh. Someone?
So, what's your excuse, Rhino?
Uh-oh.
Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right?
No.
Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt?
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
No. Well, the good way would be no, right?
Maybe. If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. If you try to conceal anything, will be the one appearing before the Court of Inquiries.
What do I do now? Better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Can I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? Alright, so let's pretend that we did not know there was a good or a bad ending. If you were playing this on your own for the first time, what would you do? Would you say, would you not show the evidence, or would you show the evidence? ESM? Well, actually, let's have ESM go first. So what would you pick in this moment? If you had not known that,
In the story, so I think of Ghost Squad. Because Ghost Squad for the week.
Okay.
The reason why I say that is because in Ghost Squad, you're able to choose your own adventure to get to the same ending. In this case, there's two endings, but you're telling me to forget that.
So pretend it's not there.
In this situation, what I would say is show evidence, because then they're trying to the story is trying to trick me to show the evidence. So therefore, I show the evidence. It gets the bad ending. But if we cannot show evidence, it goes to the book and why we can't show it. So I think show evidence would be my answer.
Alright, what about you, Barney? So again, if you were playing this for the first time, what would you choose?
Okay, so I'm gonna preface this by saying that if I was playing this for the first time, alright, I'll get this out of the way. I have like the worst memory ever, Right. If I was playing this for the first time, and I didn't know anything, like ESM just laid the groundwork. Knowing me, I will definitely go with show evidence.
Alrighty. Well, guess what? Show evidence is the bad ending. So we'll show this out of the way first. Yes, Your Honor, I do have further evidence.
Alright, The time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the sheep's.
Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence shows that actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Yes, it's the plot. Right over here.
It's a piece of leather cloth. I just like how he says it like.
Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest.
What's this? There's a big handprint on it.
Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword.
What? Whose fingerprints are on this?
I'm sure Rido has checked. Haven't you?
Well, whose are they?
They're Miss Skies. Miss Emma Skies.
What? They're mine? So I really did do it.
See? I told you it was conclusive.
Uh-oh, this is not good. Oh no.
But this was found in your safe. This means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? But
Give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting the evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death.
no.
No! No! It appears we have our killer. No!
No.
No! No!
No!
No!
Everything hinged on that point.
Wait 1 second.
In the end, Lana alone was found guilty on all counts. Guilty.
Okay, real quick.
An automatic guilty verdict. Yes.
Real quick.
And you immediately go back to the title screen.
So, where do we know that no from?
Yeah, so it works.
Where do we...
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, easily. Yeah,
It's
that's
Darth
from.
Vader. It's from, I know it's from like episode 3, right? I think it's right towards the end, right?
Yes, right towards the end.
Yeah.
They added it for the special editions for Return of the Jedi, which was one of the worst changes they could have done to Return of the Jedi, but that's another story.
That's right, it wasn't part of the original cut.
Yeah.
In the original cut, he basically picks up Palpatine, and that's it. What the hell?
ESM's just saying, right now, ESM is having this Star Wars crisis right now. But anyway, yeah, okay, so that shit...
Because today's the 6th. May the 6th be with you.
Well, it's more May the 4th, but yeah.
No, May the 6th.
Yeah.
6th. Sith.
Oh, Seth.
Sith.
Seth. Oh.
Oh,
I mean,
yes,
I'm not
yes, I
Star
get
Wars,
what you
so-
mean. I get it. Yeah, I got it.
Anyway, so yeah. So if you got the bad ending in here...
I think I know the reason why we couldn't present it.
Yes. So,
I think I figured that part out of why we
Alright.
couldn't, why we can't.
Also, you start here, so you start as the nothing.
so pretty much...
purposely did that.
So I purposely did that. So pretty much at this point, like, actually, yeah, I'm just gonna explain myself. So real quick, so pretty much at this point, if you were to pick the bad ending and you did not save at that point, then pretty much you had to go through all that cross-examination all over again.
All I wanted to do was
I know, but I was just gonna explain myself shortly, and I don't get it.
Okay, that's fine. I was gonna click while you were talking.
But anyway, alright, so yeah, let's go ahead and pretty much just get
You did not just do that!
One more time, Garen. What did you say again? Yeah.
I love how we all just went quiet for like a minute.
And even Phoenix was like, wait, what did you just say? Oh, sorry, Rhino. I have no idea where that came from, actually.
He look at Peters. He's like, "What the hell, man?"
It's quiet. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you
What the hell?
This will do all the talking for me. Look at the ASMR edition of Ace Attorney.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Wait, yeah, please do not. Anyway.
Okay, yeah, that's safe. Okay.
I have his
Where's
clap down, finally.
Okay. Apologies to headphone users out there. Anyway.
Alright.
Alright, so... Alright, so yes. A little fun fact before I actually present this. So when I was playing this game for the first time, originally I was actually going to pick show evidence, but do you want to know why the reason why the reason I picked this instead?
Why?
It's basically because I was just like, well, Dan, you didn't want to testify the first time, so you know what? I'm not going to present any evidence for you. So how about that and such? And not knowing that I actually picked a good ending all along. Because actually at first when I was picking it, I was like, well, okay, if I get it wrong, like, I'll just show evidence anyway, but no. So actually, yeah, this is right. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie!
Chief can't?
You opened my safe! I knew you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence! I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? Shh. We found it together.
Love Emma. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it.
What are you talking about, Chief Gong?
Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area?
It looks like it's part of. It looks like it's part of. It's been cut for some reason.
You mean you had this in your safe?
What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence? This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department.
And make him the claimant.
Pretty much. Yep, now just sit back and watch. Impressive! To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened.
What? You mean you admit to it?
I love how he's just like was there.
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I can use the situation to control Lana.
So you were really manipulating her.
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, then she would. That when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid.
So you assisted Miss Spy.
I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room.
And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe convicted.
When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. That was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe?
But why?
For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it was always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed.
You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence?
What do you take me for? A fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces.
But if you fabricated all the evidence, so you didn't fabricate this message jar on the jar too.
Ho ho ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance.
You mean that piece of cloth?
Come on, Rhino. Cough it up already. I know you have it.
Now we can present it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Can? That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present.
Foolish move, Rhino. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. So what do you want to do? Show evidence or still not show evidence?
We can show evidence now because he wins inside.
Where about you, Bonnie?
Show evidence.
Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
Nothing back because it wasn't scanned by the police.
All right then. Let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
So yeah, so now we can present the cloth. Take that! Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh yes! At last you finally brought it out into the open.
There's a handprint on this piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that it be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly.
You mean they're gonna take it? They're gonna take it to the
It
lab?
must be authentic, conclusive evidence.
You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy.
What?
Think about it. Rhino had all this time to present the evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be?
You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that?
Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
Very well. I'll tell you. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is...
Emma Sky.
Yep.
Here we go. Emma Sky?
What? They're mine.
I'm sorry,
They're
Emma.
mine. But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Oh man, this is getting
Ho
intense.
ho ho! You're really something, Rhino. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me.
So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
How could you? You monster!
Miss Sky,
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Huh, but I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense.
oh no.
I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Can't get your tongue? Aren't you gonna tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer?
I got this one.
I love
Before
how
I do that,
I wanted to do it.
there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall?
What?
Chief Gann, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Sky, wasn't it?
I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gann, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. What is the evidence that contradicts the cloth?
Keep going.
Photo.
Keep going. I need to verify.
Alright, let's check the photo.
Aha, there it is.
Yeah. Take a look at this photo.
The blood's after.
Yes, the blood is after it got cut off.
Mm-hmm.
And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait, there's no blood on it.
Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gann, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside.
He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out.
If so, then tell me, who could have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armored sword?
Trying to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death. Said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that then they broke into on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it.
Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you purposely cut off this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Though in the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer.
Pika! Pika!
It's finally over for Pikachu.
Pika Pika! Pika!
Uh-huh.
Any objection?
That was close, Rhino. You almost had me.
What?
Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
No, it's not.
Order. What nonsense is this? What bullshit is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convince a suspect. Remember, Archie? Earlier, old Rhino here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Rhino? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I could present at this point in time.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth seems to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair.
Oh, did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
Rule number 2.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person, assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Well, Mr. Wright?
Seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? Do you purposely and illegally conceal this piece of cloth?
What do you pick?
I did not.
Yep.
I did not.
I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Huh, so the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present the evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Uchi, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe.
Objection.
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
Yep, let's show him the book. Let's literally throw the book at the judge. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law.
Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department.
Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SO9 incident. What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No.
He's
Yes.
right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant.
You yourself confessed to a certain truth.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you purposely cut off this piece from the victim's vest? Oh, yes! No!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence that you cut it off. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth, which will get you put behind bars.
And possibly the death penalty, too. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. David Gant, that killer is you!